There's a little girl walking along the beach, just frolicking and having fun like kids do, when she strolls up upon thousands of starfish that had washed up on the shore from a storm that had passed through. Knowing that starfish can't survive long on dry land, the little girl starts picking up the starfish one at a time and throwing them back into the ocean. Meanwhile, an older gentleman who had been watching the whole time walks up to the little girl and he says, "Little girl, what are you doing?" The little girl tells him, "I'm saving all these starfish who are washed up on the shore." The man scoffs and he says, "Little girl, you can't possibly save all these starfish. There's too many for you to save. You just can't make a difference by yourself." And at his words, the little girl's head kind of sunk down as she thought about what he said. But no sooner did it take for her to raise her head back up and she said, "You know what, old man?" I'm kidding. She didn't call him old man, but she said, "You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I can't make a difference to all these starfish." And she looks at the one that she's holding in her hand and says, "But I can make a difference to this one." And she throws the starfish back into the water. And she picks up another one and she says, "And I can make a difference to this one," as she casts another starfish to safety. "And to this one, and to this one." And as the older gentleman stood there, watching this little girl do her absolute best to save as many starfish as possible, he kind of felt ashamed, right? I mean, after he poured out all that negativity on this little girl, she was still busting a hump to save as many starfish as she could. And with that, he himself became inspired. And he reached down and he picked up a starfish and cast it safely into the water. And as the little girl and the older gentleman were saving as many starfish as possible, two women who are out on a walk see this, and they become inspired, and they pitch in and start saving the starfish. Others see what's happening, and now what's become a movement to save the starfish, and they pitch in. And the next thing you know, every starfish that had been washed up on the shore was now safely back in the water. The thousands of starfish that just a short while ago seemed like an impossible mission had now been completed successfully, all by the effort inspired by this little girl. Now there's two great takeaways from this story. The first being a relatable comparison to all the times in our lives that we've been facing overwhelming odds and we felt like our efforts just weren't making a difference. But it's important to remember that sometimes we don't have to make a difference on a grand scale to make a grand scale change. Sometimes it takes us reaching that one person who we can inspire, and they'll go on to make positive, life-changing differences. Think of the frustrated teacher who can't reach all their students, but maybe they'll inspire that one student on a path who will go on to make seismic differences in this world, as a doctor who finds a cure for cancer, or a leader who unites their country and the world. The other takeaway is that of unified teamwork. I tell my staff all the time, on my own, there's nothing special about me. In fact, for years I struggled to reach my potential in business because I was always trying to do things on my own. It wasn't until I surrounded myself with an outstanding team that I was able to level up on my own successes in a meaningful way. On my own, I might not be much, but with my team, we can move mountains. It's the same thing with this little girl. On her own, she couldn't save all the starfish, but with her team, they were able to save all the starfish, accomplishing something the little girl never could have done on her own. Guys, we can never stop trying to make a positive difference and sow good seeds, because we never know when our efforts will fall on fruitful soil and will inspire others to make this world a better place for all of us.